Hi, I'm Sandra Ma'at with Enduring Wives Coaching, where we strengthen marriages God's way through faith, wisdom, and intentional love. Today, I want to build on yesterday's Marriage Wisdom Wednesday. Listen to understand, not just to respond. Now, let me ask you a question. When your spouse is talking, are you listening or are you already preparing your response? Sometimes in marriage, we hear the words that our spouse is saying, but we never really hear their hearts. Um, I can speak about this personally because this used to be really hard for me. I wanted so badly to be heard that sometimes I would cut my husband off before he even finished what he was saying. While he was talking, I was already thinking about what I wanted to say next. I wanted him to understand my side. I wanted him to understand my feelings. And sometimes because I was so focused on being heard, I wasn't actually listening to understand what he was trying to tell me. And I had to learn that allowing my husband to finish speaking didn't mean that my voice didn't matter. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't have an opportunity to share how I felt. It meant that in that moment, I was making room to hear him. And I realized something. I couldn't ask him to listen to me if I wasn't willing to listen to him. Now that brings me to James 1:19, where the Bible tells us to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Look at the order. Listen comes first. That's not always easy though, especially when you disagree with what's being said. Sometimes your spouse may say something and everything in you wants to immediately say, that's not what happened. That's not what I meant. You misunderstood me. Or, but let me tell you what you did. But here's something I learned. Listening doesn't mean agreeing. You can listen to your spouse's feelings without agreeing with every conclusion. Listening simply says, your thoughts matter to me. Your feelings matter to me. I understand what you're experiencing before I tell you what I'm experiencing. And sometimes that can change the entire direction of a conversation. Because instead of immediately saying, that's not true, try saying, help me understand why you feel that way. Instead of interrupting, let your spouse finish. And instead of listening for the part you can argue against, ask yourself, what is my spouse trying to communicate to me right now? Because marriage isn't about winning every argument. It's about growing and understanding. And here's another thing we have to remember. Sometimes our spouse isn't asking us to fix everything. Sometimes they just want to know, did you hear me? So I want to give every married couple a challenge. The next time your spouse is sharing something important with you, put the phone down, look at them, listen to them, don't interrupt, don't prepare for your defense while they're talking. And before you respond, try asking, did I understand you correctly? Then tell them what you heard. You may be surprised at how one small change can prevent a huge misunderstanding. So remember this, don't just listen for the opportunity to respond. Listen for the opportunity to understand. Because what understanding can give you, it can give you growth. And when there is growth, so does the connection grow. And when connection grows, your marriage becomes stronger. And if you're anything like I used to be, and you're thinking, but I need to be heard too, I understand. You absolutely deserve an opportunity to speak. But give your spouse the gift you're asking them to give you, to just listen. Because I couldn't ask my husband to listen to me if I wasn't willing to listen to him. And maybe somebody needed to hear that today. Again, I'm Sandra Ma'at with Enduring Wives Coaching, strengthening marriages God's way. I'll see you next time.